20th of August 1860, Melbourne, Australia, and the biggest expedition ever seen since European settlement is about to get underway. Led by Robert O'Hara Burke, this expedition of 19 men would be the first Europeans to open up the interior of Australia with the purpose of getting to the Gulf of Carpentaria. 3rd of April 1861, just 7 months later, Burke and 3 of his men, William John Wills, Charlie Gray and John King, are fighting for survival with almost all their food gone and only a little water left to share. On that night, their second last camel dies, leaving them with no option but to leave all their valuable navigational and scientific equipment behind and only carry water, with the intention to return and collect the equipment they buried beneath a blaze tree in the months to come. The camp would become known as the Plant Camp. William John Wills writes in his journal that a number of items have been buried at the Plant Camp, comprising of sextants, chronometers, barometers, a telescope, as well as compasses and journals. With more than 300 kilometres ahead of them before they reach the depot on Coopers Creek, they need to travel light and fast before their water runs out. April the 21st, 1861, and the men arrive at the camp on Coopers Creek after being away for 13 weeks, only to find the depot abandoned just 9 hours earlier. In a few weeks, Burke and Wills will die of starvation, and the Plant Camp with its valuable cache would never be unearthed and collected. Due to the inaccuracies with the navigational equipment of the day, it's been impossible to locate the exact spot of the Plant Camp. But all that changed when Dr. Frank Ley, a professor from Melbourne University, managed to work out the errors with William John Wills' sextant and pinpointed a location where the Plant Camp was most likely to be found. In 2007, together with 3 others, Dr. Ley travelled to the now secret location in Western Queensland, and with a 1.6 kilometre error margin, he managed to find a blaze tree and a creek consistent with the description given by William John Wills in his journal. 403 valuable items are located in and around a dry creek bed, including this: the very bubble and brass case used by Mr. Wills to set his artificial horizon when using his sextant. This bubble is a vital instrument used by surveyors and navigators to set an artificial horizon. William John Wills was indeed a surveyor and the team navigator. A state archaeologist report on the findings of the first search of the area determined that this valuable artefact is in fact the same instrument documented in the original 1860 manifest of equipment provided for the original expedition. But the cache of valuable instruments and journals aren't located. Admitting that the search was not conducted by professionals using state-of-the-art equipment, Dr. Ley would return 4 times in the hope of locating and unearthing this last great treasure, the only remaining colonial treasure in Australia's history. Today, the search of the Plant Camp remains incomplete, and the Queensland Government has now placed it on a restricted area list for its historic and archaeological value. But the Queensland Government and State Museum doesn't have the funding or manpower to conduct a full search. This is George Kalakis, a retired 23-year veteran of the Armed Forces and together with a team of experienced former members of the Australian Defence Force known as the Cameleers, they've been using their valuable skills gained in their careers to follow and document the footsteps of the great explorers. Now, George and his team of Cameleers plan to conduct a search of the plant camp on a level never seen in Australia. The Cameleers are a non-for-profit organisation dedicated to recruiting ex-defence personnel and helping them manage their long-term illnesses by tapping into their skill base while actively exploring and documenting the history and land of Australia, the country they vowed to defend. Now leading the way with the full support of the Queensland Government and the Australian Army, the Cameleers, armed with the most advanced minesweeping detectors and ground-penetrating radar used by the armed forces, plan to deploy for 2 weeks with a 60-man detail from the Australian Army as support. The team, comprising of a search party, camp cooks, a nurses station, 10 archaeologists from the Queensland Government and the valuable assistance from the traditional landowners, the Mythica people, will use their wealth of knowledge and skill to locate and return Burke and Will's valuable cache to the people of Australia in the form of a donation to the Commonwealth. Would you like to be part of this once-in-a-lifetime experience? Our team is now seeking passionate and dedicated Australians to share our values and goals. This could be your chance to make history as well as lifelong memories by being part of our hand-picked team of professionals. We're seeking sponsorship for this unique opportunity where every dollar will go towards a thorough search of the plant camp and the documenting of early colonial history in Australia. In 2017, we invite you to be part of the team that will return to the plant camp.